12 years old, almost essentially like praying, like
Mm.
for like to be shown or to have a better life. And it didn't happen right away. Like things didn't just miraculously change like that. But it was interesting when I think back, it's like shortly after that, I started getting all this sort of interest in natural medicine. Like
Mm.
back then, the internet wasn't really around. So it's like I would go to the library and like read books about herbology and such. And I was like, oh, this stuff really interests me. And I joined a martial arts and I was introduced to traditional Chinese medicine. And through that, like guys doing acupuncture. And I was like, this is something I would be really into doing. And then I almost went into Chinese medicine. And then the girlfriend at the time was like, ew, if you go into that, I'm going to break up with you. And then this girl, like, I was like, thought I was in love with her. I wanted to like be with her forever. And then she broke up with me. I'm like, okay, I can, but I was already signed up to go to college and do an environmental technology program. And I was like, every day I was at that program, it was like, I kept hearing this message: you need to go to Chinese medicine school. You need to go
Wow.
to Chinese medicine school. And it just get louder. And I would try to ignore it. And I was like, I can't ignore this any longer. So I dropped out and went and signed up, joined the next week. And it was like definitely one of the best things I did because it opened up a lot of these doorways to going into natural health, like meeting people,
Mm.
kind of like some of the stuff that you spoke about, like going into taking these different courses beyond just Chinese, becoming a doctor in Chinese medicine,
Yeah.
getting involved with this medical qigong master and mentoring with also like a native medicine man as well. Like that was all through just by saying yes
Right.
to going into Chinese medicine. And all of this I think was leading me just closer to essentially to connect with the divine, to God, um, to be closer and have a really strong relationship with God, and then actually do this work, because this was not something I chose at all. It would be nothing I would have ever even thought of. And it was even something I kind of like resisted, like, do I want to do this? Like, or what am I
Yeah.
being even led to? And tried to walk away from this work before. And it's like, no, it's like just pulls back. I'm like, hey, I'm just meant to do this work. There's like,
Wow. Yeah, it definitely feels like it chose you, and there that's just the way it is. And for a lot of people, I love what you said. You said the importance of saying yes. Like you've got to say yes to the healing or to the fact that it's possible. So just if you're here dealing with something, it's really important oftentimes just to say yes to what could be possible versus staying in the old pattern. And I want to talk about kind of how you see things because you are called a root cause healer. I'd like to think a lot of healers want to get to the root cause, but with you, it comes in very clearly. What is a root cause healer, and why might that be relevant today for the people listening in?
yeah, so it's always been my intention to get to the root cause for people, because it's like
Yeah.
once we can get the root cause, even though that might be like very challenging to have to face and to deal with, then it's like a deeper healing can happen rather than just sort of a band-aid
Hmm.
solution, and not addressing, yeah, what's really essentially at the root causing this person's issue. And sometimes there can be multiple root causes too. It may not just be one thing going on. Maybe there's something on a spiritual level going on, a physical too, because it's like sometimes there's like, yeah, a toxicity issue that the person is dealing with that needs to be addressed, whether it's like heavy metals or parasites, um, a bacteria issue. And it's like, yeah, we can do all this spiritual or emotional work, and that may not resolve it on its own. So sometimes you've got to do like a maybe have to do a cleanse or something to get those toxins out of the body to or to nourish the body. Like sometimes we have to build up our muscle mass. Sometimes people are so weak, and it's like you
Hmm.
can pray as much as you want, but if you're not actually doing physical exercise, yeah, you're going to stay weak, feeble, or overweight, or whatever it is that you're struggling with.
Yeah, that is true. And it's interesting that when you look into bodies, right, or energy fields or people's challenges, things come in, you're shown things. How do you see that? come through as like a voice, as a picture, or clairaudient, clairsentient? Do you just kind of feel it? How do you get the guidance? What does it show up as?
Definitely comes in strongly as a voice is one of the strongest,
Okay.
though there is some like images. I can feel what's going on with people, but definitely like I tend to get more audio messages for sure, which I find that's easier than to translate as well. Or sometimes it'll just want to come across as a feeling too, or sort of being drawn into, say, a person's heart to sort of almost like feel what they're experiencing to even
Mm.
better understand what they're going through as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. What they're feeling in the heart. I want to talk about that because one of the things that you look at is this God-led presence. Like, do you find that what is going on sort of in the heart actually is what happens there or what goes on in the body as well? Is there a big connection there?
Definitely, yeah, because yeah, if we're holding sort of stress or fear in our heart, then it's like we're also exuding that out, or it's causing our body, our blood flow, our energy flow to move in a certain way. So it's like fear is very restrictive, very cold
Mm.
in nature. So it's like, therefore, we can, a person might come across, and they may not even realize it coming across as being sort of more cold, being more restricted, being more stressed in nature, or have anger in your heart, then it's like, yeah, being more
Yep.
irritable. You can definitely relate to that. It's like, so it's like reactive. And we see a lot of that online, like people reacting when they don't like somebody saying something that they don't agree with. So it's like this attacking people. So it's like I see that as being a lot of so-called anger in that person's heart as a result of that. And it's unfortunate for sure, because then it's like then it can trigger somebody else, and then it just creates like a domino effect, for example.
Yeah, I always say like guard your heart, right? It's interesting. I think in the Bible they say Jesus said, whatever someone consumes, like it goes through their body and out, right? And it leaves like within 48 hours essentially. But what comes from the heart actually like is basically their whole energy. Like that is what they are. So be careful what enters the heart. Maybe more so what you eat, right? Although that's important, that's going to move through your body, but what enters your heart may stay there. What are you seeing with people and your clients these days? I mean, I know you worked with a lot of different issues, but what are some of the things that you're seeing maybe coming up more regularly than before?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pain, stuff going on. There's
Okay.
definitely some psychological things. There's seems to be, um, yeah, even more like stronger, more almost like more fixed issues. Like people definitely dealing with some more intense issues, whether it's being like cancer, whether it's
Okay.
being um, like Parkinson's. Um, yeah, a lot of sort of mental, emotional stuff going on. So there's just, it's definitely a variety, and cardiovascular stuff as well. So there's like a lot, but definitely some heavy stuff like that are going on with people.
Are you seeing a lot of that? Would you say is environmental issues like toxins? Is it emotional issues? Is it like a combination of these things? What would you say?
It's definitely a combination of things
Hmm.
for sure, but there is a lot of like, yeah, physical things going on. I think we are being exposed to more and more toxins, obviously, than we realize. Yeah, and then I deal with a lot of older clients too. So then you have an aging body. So maybe their hormones are not as also as, because our hormones act as like a sort of a natural anti-inflammatory, like keep the body more youthful. So as people are getting older, they don't have the ability sort of to counter some of these symptoms that they once did. So the body is sort of breaking down faster now as well. So there's that component too. So needing, yeah, so there's both like a sort of a nourishing plus like a detoxing that needs to take place as well. Or
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. So wherever you're at, go ahead and raise your hand. You can go to React to do that. We're getting a lot of people asking about that. I want to talk about some of your clients. What are some of your favorite shifts that you've seen with clients and things that maybe surprised you?
Yeah, some things that surprised me. Definitely, there's been a lot of people. Let's try to think of one. Yeah, there's one simple one just comes into to mind about like a woman, like she struggled for years with a lot of different, multitude of different health issues, and then she had a terrible relationship and resisted leaving this guy. And then once she left him, all of a sudden, like her life, her health got a lot better too. So it was like it's like needed to take that step to leave her now ex-husband to in order to like facilitate her healing.
Yeah, those are interesting situations where like we have to make some sort of life change to get out of the energetic influence that's affecting us. What about pain? I know you had a really interesting client who had a big drop in pain, like in their leg. I read it during the introduction. It was like a 90% drop. And then the next day it was gone. This was Colleen Siebert. If you can, I don't want to get into, confidentialities, but was there a root to that leg pain that when removed allowed it to be released like so much in a short period of time, like 90%?
Yeah, as I recall, there was the sort of anger, frustration,
Okay.
even some sadness that was influencing like that as well. And then it allowed her body to sort of like shift much easier, like the alignment, the physical alignment, because that
Hmm.
was also like off as well. And so it's like once those emotions were like processed, resolved, released, then the body's like, okay, now we can sort of relax because, like, again, stress keeps everything very tight and rigid. So it's like, and it's like things became much more fluid and able to shift into place. And often it's like sometimes those emotions and the body can take, yeah, a few days to regulate. Like in Colleen's case, yeah, she said, yeah, like next day or immediately was
Hmm.
90%. The next day it fully left. It's like almost like that just needed to leave the body as it sort of almost like drains out, so to speak. It's like removing like a plug in a pipe or something. It
Yeah.
just takes might take a little bit. It doesn't happen always like right away immediately, but it's like it just took a little bit of extra time to drain out. And sometimes the person needs to do some stuff too. Maybe they needed to like maybe she needed to say something to somebody and she ended up doing it or needed to
Mm.
um,
Yeah. Why do you find, and we are going to get to some questions. I know people are really blowing up kind of the line, wanting some support from Adam today. Why do you find with humans we find it so hard to pull the plug and let that stuff drain out that we just tend to hold on to stuff? Maybe it's conscious, maybe it's just completely unconscious, we're not even aware of it, but it's still there running 24 hours a day affecting our life 40, 50, 60 years later. Sometimes things in childhood are still happening to us daily through our energy system, even though we've left the schoolyard, like in your case, where maybe somebody was, being hostile to you. Why is that challenging for humans, do you think?
yeah, like because the brain wants to just have like habits and patterns because it's like it's easier. It's like to go on autopilot, like driving the same
Yeah.
way to work every day, right? So it's just like, and when we develop these habits and patterns, and they're not always good for us, obviously, some of them, and then it's just like it keeps going down that route until it's like we put conscious attention to it and realize, hey, actually, like this
Mm,
habit, this pattern is not good for me. So often during the sessions, like I'll bring that to people's awareness, like this habit, this pattern
mm,
is not serving you. And so then the person has the opportunity to then shift that or help them during the session to shift that, bring awareness and to create a new habit or pattern to shift out of that. And ego can get in the way, thinking know it all, right? There
yeah.
can be reasons too, or like, yeah, like
Hmm. Very interesting. I want to ask you about a lady from your records, Edna or Etta Faye. She had a
Yeah.
sinus headache and ear pain. She's in New York. Um, she basically said, "Thank you for the healing." She had reached out to you about sinus headache and ear pain in both ears. And she did one distance healing session. And you found, I guess, a lot of dark, unhealthy energy around her, causing it. And you wrote, once I cleared the dark, unhealthy energy, her symptoms went away. Interesting. And I guess she was in New York, New York. So I'm sure there's, big, dense population, a lot of stuff going on there, a lot of history. I'm sure a lot of, souls have passed through, right? So with Etta, what was going on there? And how could dark energy cause headaches?
Yeah, sometimes we unknowingly like open ourselves up to so-called like dark energies, whether you want to call them like, yeah, spirit,
Yeah,
demons, and they get in, and this can happen when we're in a weakened state, we're in a
yeah,
stress state, when we're sick, it can get in, and then essentially, yeah, create physical symptoms as a result. So therefore,
that's
by
right.
clearing that stuff out, it's, yeah, often people will see like instant shifts with their physical body or emotional body, and this can happen in people's homes too. These spirits can create problems in people's homes, and yeah, once cleared, it's like all of a sudden it's like the home feels totally great after that.
Yeah, I find it interesting. It's like if you say like negative energy spirit or like a demonic spirit, people are like, oh my God, but it's like that's been around since the beginning of time. And like, why would we think that the world is somehow now different? I mean, it's just one of those things that's been around. Do you find that whether we call it negative energy or dark energy, demonic energy, do you find that this is increasing or is it decreasing? Is it just the same as it's always been, or are we just more aware of it? What are you finding? Kind of like if you look a level above into kind of the spiritual landscape, what's going on there, Adam, from what you see?
Yeah, I'd say it's about the same. Like I haven't seen an increase or really a decrease of it. Yeah, it's see if anywhere from like sort of like in like 15 to 20% of the people that I work with, like
Okay.
something going on with that or in their home or somehow influencing their life.
Mm,
And
interesting.
yeah, and often these things can they clear pretty quickly too, which is nice. It's
Yeah, I mean, we have dominion over that stuff, I would think, God does. So I mean, we should assert that, guys. What are some signs? Because one of the things you talk about, like things staying in place, and I kind of think, like, because we don't, we think that it's normal to constantly be in pain. We think it's normal to constantly be tired, to constantly feel negative, to constantly not have enough money or not have enough resources or not have enough, and I think no, maybe that's abnormal for, a divine being a child of God. I mean, what would you say? Like, what are some signs that maybe this isn't the natural state? Something is not right. Something is not going on in the way that it should. What do you say? What are some signs of that?
yeah, that's an interesting question because there's sometimes like people have to go through pain and suffering in
Yeah.
order to grow as well. So it's like to take that lesson away, then they won't learn that. So it's about, I guess the key is like keeping an open mind
Hmm.
around things, which can definitely be challenging at times when obviously when we're suffering or going through pain or something
Yeah.
harsh or someone you really care about passed away. But it's like it's often like, yeah, reaching out to that higher power, reaching out to God and really checking in, like what is it that I need to be learning from this or experiencing from this, is often will bring a lot of like peace to the heart rather than, yeah, like going through the mud, the struggle of or feeling bad for yourself or bad for others too, because we can also like there, I know there's a lot of empathetic people here on probably on the call like care that deeply, and it's like when we see others suffering, right, it can be really hard on us as well. So it's like we got to hand, I find it's like handing that over to God is really important because it's like don't think God wants us to suffer for other people so much. Like,
Right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's an interesting one, right? It's like, yes, help people. Yes, send love, but do you have to suffer? I don't know. That's an interesting question. I would say I'm not sure.
yeah,
I'm not sure that would be part of the plan always. Let's do this. I want to go to some callers. And if you want some time with Adam, go ahead and hit react. Now, Adam, we talked privately and we are like, hey, what can we do? And so we were going to open up the door. So if you get a message or some insight from a caller that you can share it, if we're able to maybe move or adjust some of the energy so that people feel a shift, we're going to hopefully take that opportunity if we can. We're going to spend maybe a couple minutes with each person. Anything you want to add or anything that, maybe has changed since we talked or anything you're feeling?
yeah, that I'm feeling about that what you just talked about.
Okay.
No, I
Okay.
think it's just if we're going to take calls, just be specific with your
Okay.
question. Like, for instance, like what's causing my back pain, or why am I feel stressed all the time when I go to work, for example. Like, yeah, because yeah, there's a lot of information that can come through for sure. So it's like the more specific, and then it'll give opportunity for more people as
Yep.
well.
Okay. So I'm going to jump to Carolyn D, and I'm going to send Carolyn Davenport up. Y'all don't mind me reading. Do you need last names or age or anything like that, Adam? Sometimes some.
Yeah, if you can give me their whole name,
Okay.
that's
That's wiser
perfect.
then. Okay.
Um,
Carolyn, if there's anything I missed with your name or anything else, give it to Adam and then tell us what's going on.
Okay. Hi, Adam. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, Carolyn.
Good. Good. I am having a lot of physical problems, and I do talk to Source every day. And but I don't. I'm not really. I don't get visions. I get some feeling in my body of spiritual energy, but I don't. I mean, I don't get any clairvoyance or anything like that. At any rate, I've got a lot of things. I don't know if you can scan me and kind of zone in on any of those, or if that's not your modus operandi, or whether I should ask you a specific question about one of them.
Yeah, ask me a specific question. Is there a certain area that you want me to look into?
Okay, well, I've got probably two things. The first would be the left lung, and I seem to be having some kind of a potential cancer threat there, even though Source assures me it's not cancer. But I do have a nodule or two that are concerning in there.
Okay, so I'll take a look at your left lung, then see what I see going on here. As soon as I go into it, definitely picking up on a lot of sadness and pain in there. So I'm just seeing if this like pain that I'm picking up on is like a physical pain or more of a so-called like or more on a, like an emotional, mental level. Yeah, it's like your body's like storing something there, and this pain, yeah, yeah, it's like the pain goes deep into your soul. So I'm just gonna actually go right into your soul and see what it'll tell me about this pain. Yeah, this pain has to do with you not believing, feeling you're not getting enough in your life. I don't know if that means anything to you specifically, like what area you're not getting enough.
Uh, yeah, it does mean something to me.
And it's like, yeah, not getting enough connection. So is that physical connection? No, it doesn't seem like it. Not even spiritual connection. It's so whatever that connection, yeah, not getting enough connection in your life.
Could that be from my partner?
Yeah, so from your partner. So I'm just seeing, yeah, and so what then I like to do next is ask like, well, what do you need to do about that? So like I'm just gonna ask your soul if that's okay, because
Okay, cool.
soul's a lot of messages that want to bring forward. Yeah, essentially you need to speak to him about it is what's coming forward. You need to have like, yeah, more dialogue, more communication
Mm-hmm.
with him about that. because this will really help to open up your heart and like start to process that sadness, process that pain, not and build that connection. And sometimes and often we don't like to step into the unknown because don't know how maybe he'll react, but it's like it's about just sort of trusting the process. And if that brings up any nervousness or sort of like uncertainty about it, it's like write this stuff out first, like write it down, like in the perfect situation, what would I say to my partner, my husband here about how I'm feeling, and like make it about you, tell about how you're feeling, not about like, hey, you're not like hugging me enough or whatever, it like I'm doing what I need enough. It's like, no, it's like how you feel about it, because then it's like the person won't feel like so-called like that they're doing something wrong or attacked or whatever.
Right. And do you see a split there, or do you think it can be rectified with open communication?
Yeah, I don't see a split there. I definitely open communication is what your soul's calling for.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. Very
Wow.
interesting. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you, Carolyn. Wow. I mean, just let everyone be aware. I mean, we're not offering medical advice, treatment, or guidance. We're looking at the spiritual energy, like the energy behind what is showing up. I want to go to Dr. Liz here in a moment, but I saw a story from your team about Bella, a Yorkie dog that had jaw, teeth issues, and seizures. And it looks like you found some interesting energy was around Bella, the dog. Isn't every Yorkie named Bella? I know so many Yorkies. But what did you see? What was going on there? Do you remember that?
With Bella, like animals are like, they're pretty easy to deal with for sure. Like they don't have the complexities like us humans do. So it's like, as I recall, it was just sort of like a negative energy around her. And it's like sometimes animals can take it on for their owners, for example, because dogs are like protective, even just small little dogs too. They want to protect, they want to serve their master, so to speak. And so they can do these things like just and essentially out of love, right? Like
Yep.
For their owner, for their master to take care of them. So it's like,
I just find that wild that like dark energy could cause seizures in a dog, and they're just taking this on. I mean, that's pretty incredible. So we're gonna keep going. We've got Dr. Liz with us, and go ahead and raise your hand. Go to react. Anyone else wants to have some time with Adam? We're gonna move relatively quick. Dr. Liz, welcome back. Adam, any thing you want to share with Dr. Liz, or Dr. Liz, anything you want to share with Adam?
hey, Dr.
Yeah,
Liz.
I would like Dr. Adam. I'd like Adam to share what he sees, or if he can scan me or something like that.
And do you want to share kind of what you've been going through, or where you're feeling an issue right now? Any specifics, Dr. Liz?
The specific issue is I'm always in pain on my right side.
Okay.
Always, every day, every minute, constantly. And it's a result of a lot of things like cancer therapy and having a stroke years and years ago. And it just affected my right side, and my right side has yet to recover.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look here and see what's going on with you, Dr. Liz. Only being drawn to into your brain, so I'm just seeing what's going on there to begin with. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tension restriction going on in the brain and the blood vessels, and in the nerves in the brain, It's definitely about getting more blood flow to the brain seems to be really important for you. I don't know if you're doing anything in regards to that, taking anything, doing any specific exercises or anything, are you this time?
No, I'm not really, because I used to get a lot of exercise, like I would row religiously for 45 minutes a day. And now because the pain is so great on my right-hand side, I can't even get on my rowing machine.
Yeah, I'm getting this image of like almost like this sort of like biofeedback, sort of like almost like this, I guess, helmet or like thing that you'd put on your head, like with electrodes to help to stimulate the brain.
Mm.
I don't really know. I've seen them before and I don't know what they're called, but that seems to be coming up for you. That would be really important for you, but to help to, yeah, stimulate better nerve and blood flow in the brain. Just anything else is
That would be neat.
um, I don't know if there's anyone that does that, kind of like looking for someone that does like sort of biofeedback around your place, or sort of like also something called, I don't know where you live, but there's something called functional neurology. So that's like typically a doctor that practices more neurology from a natural or a functional point, where they're like, yeah, they're stimulating different parts of the brain to become more activated, essentially. Because yeah, after a stroke, often areas of the brain can get affected, clogged up, so-called damaged, and need more stimulation to heal properly. So that's coming up.
That would be very, very neat. I'll look around for something like that.
And just, yeah, making sure you're getting enough blood flow up to the brain, like things, I don't know if you take any things like curcumin, like turmeric, that kind of thing. Like if you're currently taking that, that's really great for getting blood.
Yes, I am. I'm taking that.
Good. And like if you're taking it in like a therapeutic dose, or just in just like a sort of a small dose, because there's also that to do it.
I'll have to see what dose I'm taking compared to what a therapeutic dose would be.
Yeah, often the therapeutic dose is often like 3 times higher than like than just sort of like what it's recommended on the bottle, for example.
All right.
But yeah, getting more, using, setting your intention to do more like, yeah, blood flow, nerve flow to the brain, because it's your brain that needs more healing, more stimulation, help these things going on with you, this pain.
Well, there's a guy that does it in Florida, and I've been wanting to do it for a long, long time. It's where he injects something in the back of your neck and then tilts you upside down, and it just automatically cures all the stuff that's wrong with them.
Okay.
It's really neat, and I'd really like to do it.
Adam,
Okay.
is there anything that her body is messaging to you, or do you get any wisdom just kind of coming from her body in terms of a need or an energy that is there right now?
Let's see here. Yeah, I'm being drawn down now to more so your digestive system, especially looks like your large intestine when I tune in about that. So it's like, so typically, yeah, when I work with one-on-one person, I do more like a full
Yeah.
scan on, get a better idea. Because there's often, yeah, in a case like yours, Dr. Liz, there's likely multitude of different things going on for you that is like, yeah, leading to what you have, your symptoms and such. But I'm just getting a sort of another sort of aspect of what's going on with especially your large intestine here. It definitely looks like that's not functioning properly. Like, are you having any bowel issues at all, like constipation, diarrhea? If you want to share that stuff, it's up to you. Obviously, it's
No, I'm really not, because that's the question that they always ask about the reaction to the medication that I'm taking for cancer.
okay. So it's like, why am I getting that? See what's going on here.
Well, I don't want to take up everybody's time.
Yeah, it's definitely something more on a spiritual looks like level, like almost like something spiritually that's like definitely creating a lot of sadness. Is not so much this what's happened to you and that's what you're dealing with, but it's somehow tied to us. Yeah, almost like just not feeling like yourself anymore. Um, Probably as a result of what this is what's happened with you, like these so-called physical things that have happened.
Yes, that's true. I'm nothing the same. I'm nothing like I used to be.
Right. Yeah, and it's sort of just calling, like to say like your body just needs more love than it ever has before. So I'm just seeing what this means for you.
Mm.
It's kind of just like asking yourself the question. It's like, what do I need for myself today? And sometimes it's good to just place your palms over your heart and just asking yourself that. And it might be something just to check in with yourself sort of on like a daily, regular basis. Like, what do I need today for myself? And it's like sometimes it could be something different, or just to sort of center yourself, just to give yourself more support, more love, essentially coming back to feel more
Okay,
so-called yourself.
I'll try that.
Right. Okay,
Thank
now
Very
you.
good. Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Dr. Liz. Yeah, it sounds like there would be a number of things like, working holistically with some different options. And that's one of the things I love about what you do, Adam, is you're able to plug in, and it's not just maybe an emotional issue or spiritual issue. It might be like, hey, there's an actual holistic approach to maybe a modality, a therapy, some sort of intervention. You want to look at that, and that's a really unique way to look at this. So I appreciate that. I want to go to another caller. I'm sending big love to Dr. Liz. This is fantastic. Just being able to look at all these different areas. Let me go to now. We're going to take our third caller. April, you've been calling out to me for some reason. So, April, where are you calling in from? And what's your last name? And how can we help you today?
Thank you. Um, it's April Paul, and
Hey,
I'm
April.
calling from. Hi, Darius.
Mhm.
Hi, Adam. I'm
Hey,
calling from I'm calling from Southern California. But my question is, why do I continue to attract victim over and over and over again in this lifetime?
Mm.
She always looks a little bit different, but it always ends up being the same. And a lot of times it's in my living environment. So right now I'm in mold and have been in mold for 5 years, and I'm trying to get out of it.
Okay.
But yeah, okay, that's good. Thank you.
all right. I'm just going to tune into your energetically to see what's going on around that. Yeah, so first of all, I don't get that you were attracting this into your life at all. I'm sort of rephrasing like what you need to understand about this sort of the bigger picture going on. There's definitely like you have many things to learn from this experience. So it's like I'm just seeing what are sort of like some of those things that are coming up. Yeah, what a big question is coming up is coming from your soul is like, yeah, why are you so hard on yourself? So that's often when stuff like this comes up, I recommend people like write this stuff down and just wants to naturally come up to that.
Mm.
What answers want to come up around that? Like, why am I so hard on myself? And because when you sort of start seeing the answers coming up, you'll start seeing a pattern, is what seems like that's, and then it's like, then you have an opportunity to change that pattern.
Yeah, I see that because, and even just what you said, my verbiage of why do I attract that? Yeah, I just had a huge realization because, yeah, I'm seeing that by you rephrasing what I had said, that I'm taking a tremendous amount of responsibility for the things that I end up encountering in this lifetime. And I know it is, like you said, about soul growth. And I know the soul has taken on a tremendous amount in this lifetime, and it has grown so much. But I'm just having such a difficult time, like, getting to the other side of it.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
for sure. Nobody said life was going to be easy. And I know it's just like sometimes it can just feel like going through the trenches, like life can feel so tough. And yeah, so it's like that's where we got to like turn back to like sort of like I'm sure you know about gratitude and the power of that, and it's like turning back to that, just that simple thing of like what's something that I'm grateful for, and just to help to raise your frequency or to connect with someone that you really care about, like to have a conversation with, and just to connection with others that you care about, or a good friend.
Yeah, I've gotten myself pretty isolated in this lifetime as well. Yeah, so my circle is extremely small. Yeah.
So it's like, and probably a lot of this stuff is connected, or it's just just adding to like sort of like the toughness, the struggle you're going through here.
Yeah, and I've always had to rely on myself, even since I was a small child, and I think that's probably where the being hard on myself comes from right now, is that I'm having a hard time relying on myself. I've been trying so hard to get out of this place, and it just yeah.
Is there a message, Adam, or like through kind of the spiritual lens, or the lens of kind of how God would see it, that I don't know, that is kind of, I think of like this blinking, like, hey, this is the thing you just may want to consider. Maybe it doesn't have to be this hard. I don't know, April. Anything coming through, Adam, for her?
Yeah, well, one thing coming through is just seeing this sort of like big sort of, I guess, hug from God, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
all that, and just being open and receptive to that. And sometimes so maybe what I'll have you do, April, is just be like, just, you can say it in your head or out loud, doesn't matter, just focus on the center of your chest and just say to yourself, I'm open to receiving God's love in my heart. And just notice how that makes you feel, or what that sort of brings to your awareness.
I'm open to receiving God's love in my heart. I'm open to receiving humanity's love in my heart too. I think that was a big one that was blocked. Thank you.
Whatever comes up.
I see that now. Thank you. God, I'm such a sensitive little introvert. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Darius. Thank you,
Oh,
Adam.
thank you. Yeah, you sound different.
I feel different. Thank you.
Oh, good. Something big shifted. This is great. Thank you, April. Sending you big love.
Thank you.
Wow, this is great. One of the things, Adam, I want to say that I hear over and over again, and it's kind of a trick of, Team Dark, is this feeling of like, I've got to do it all myself, right? And whenever you hear that, and I hear that, it kind of like sets off the spidey senses, like, really? So just everyone, if you're here and you're like, I'm going to do this myself, or I've got to push through this myself, or yes, we do take responsibility, but you're not alone. You're not isolated. You're not forgotten. You're not singled out. So just know that, like, you can call on, higher energy for help, and it's okay. And one of the things we're going to be doing, oh my gosh, look at the time. We're going to be doing something called the Divine Reset. And that's a little bit, right, Adam, of what we're going to be kind of plugging into, guiding us back into alignment with God, this grand organizing design, the body, the mind, the spirit, and releasing what no longer serves us, so we can go back to that clarity and peace and soul healing and start the process. So, Adam, anything else you want to share about that? Man, I've been excited about this one all week. So this is great.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Just basically gonna walk people through how to connect with God and just feel that whatever that wants to bring up for you, or maybe shown or communicated with you. And what that does is it just helps to create more softness, more openness, more
Mm,
acceptance, more love in your life. It essentially give you what you need in your life at this time. Um, just so you can essentially come back into a place of balance, and all this essentially helps with your own healing process as a result.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were talking privately and this idea like we do it all ourselves or we have to do it ourselves. And I was like telling you, Adam, and I know you agreed. I was like, there's probably millions of processes happening in my body right now, every second. Maybe there's 10 million, 100 million. I don't even know. And I can barely chew gum and walk at the same time. So if I had to think about all those processes, I wouldn't be here. So we have to be connected to something, be it innate intelligence, be it God, be it grand organizing designer, be it love. Without that, we wouldn't be here. So let's seek that and connect to that when we can. And this is going to help us do that and make sure maybe there's no nasties in the way that want to stop us from that. So I do think there's a lot of that going on, that interference. So yeah, let's do it whenever you're ready. And everyone, please, no driving, no operating heavy equipment. I don't know where we're going to go, but I know we're going to come out the other side in a very high vibration.
All right, so what I'll have everyone do to begin with, just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. You can just focus those deep breaths in and out through your nose, just focusing on one area just to help to bring your attention to here and to the moment. I find it's good too to put the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth as well to create an energetic circuit. Often I'll have people ground their energy, but it looks like everyone already is grounded. So we'll even just skip over that process. And what I'll have you do is just bring your awareness to the center of your chest and just say to yourself, like, I'm connected with God and I allow the energy of God to flow through me with ease and grace. And all I want you to do is just notice how you feel or what that sort of brings to your awareness. Do you feel more calm, relaxed, or does it bring up like a stress to you, or an area of pain, discomfort? And just be aware of whatever that brings to your awareness. I'm being drawn to people's central nervous system. So that's like your brain, spinal cord, sort of as a group. So being sort of guided to help those areas of the body to unwind. All I want you to do now is just, again, just you can say to yourself, I just allow my nervous system or my central nervous system to unwind. Sometimes when our nervous system starts to relax or release tension, we can feel like twitching going on, or coolness, heat. Also, people's sight is coming up, eyes, but not in the sort of traditional way of like actual vision, but actually more on like, I guess, a spiritual way. It's like to essentially release or remove anything that's blocking your sort of how God, how Jesus, how spirit wants you to see life, in the highest way possible for yourself, the vision that God has for you. And so we can do that by just setting your intention, by just like, thank you, God, for releasing anything that's affecting my vision, or seeing life in the way that you desire for me, that you're wanting me to see in that best way possible. Definitely looks like a lot of sort of stress is releasing from people's brains. So good. If you are noticing sort of like negative feelings or stressors coming up, just do your best just to either like breathe through that stuff, or if there is emotions, just obviously just letting those emotions flow. Like if there's sadness, yeah, don't restrict yourself from obviously feeling that stuff. Just and if you're ready to, just coming back down into your heart space. Just imagine there being a ball of pink light in the center of your chest, about the size of a large grapefruit, that expands out to your back as well. And saying just, I allow my heart to be filled with love, or filled with God's love, the highest form of love, however you want to word that. This just helps to purify your heart, purify your soul. Often helping to get you out of it if you're feeling like you're stuck somewhere in life, to getting out of that stuck place. And I'm just being drawn down to people's lower abdomens as well. So that's sort of like be the area that's sort of like navel to your like pelvis area. This often has a lot to do with like, yeah, major energy center, where we get a lot of our physical energy as well. Obviously, we have our digestive system, our intestines there, so where we absorb a lot of nutrients. So we want to make sure that that area is nice and strong, healthy as well. We feel physically nourished. You can even do a little prayer there, for example, like, thank you, God, for helping my digestive system to be strong and healthy. Again, just notice how that makes you feel in that area or within your body. And when you're ready, just bring your awareness back up to your head, and you can open up your eyes when you're ready. Need to move around, have a drink of water. And if you'd like, you can write in the chat box and let us know, yeah, what you experienced, what you felt, if anything came up to your awareness that you want to share.
Fantastic. We already have Seba wrote into us. Just amazing. I could feel just this feeling of like energy kind of opening in my chest, almost like this whole area kind of opening to receive from the heart space whatever needed to come in. So it feels like there's a lot of tingling right here. There's a lot of kind of like an expansion of my heart field and more of a sensitivity. So I feel like there's definitely like an intuitive, heartfelt opening of that space. So very profound, very important stuff. I love it. Yeah, it feels really good. And I'm not the only one. It's interesting because we were working with letting this love, this energy into our heart. Saba wrote in and y'all keep sharing. We got a few more people writing in. You Walter, I believe, well, actually just right into the Zoom. Sorry, wrong page. We used to have a page where you would write in and we don't use that anymore. So let me hear what Saba had to say. Oh my God, I did that and said, I am open to receive God's love in my heart. I felt a surge of energy coming into my heart. I needed that. Thank you, Adam and April, for calling that in. Wow. Dr. Liz, feeling much better now. Thank you. Gosh, blessings to you, Dr. Liz. Christine, I felt tingles throughout my body. Cheryl felt an energy shift and I guess in her body and eyes as well. Interesting. And a very grounding and peaceful energy. I felt peaceful and grounded, says Tanya. Tanya C. My heart felt full, says Christine. April, I'm overflowing with gratitude and love. And Adam, April was the one we had on the call. I definitely something shifted during that call with April. I love that. It's like she just shifted. Like I feel released of so many tears of sadness and isolation. Thank you so much, Adam. Wow. Oh man. Warmth at the beginning, a sharp pain on my right side of my heart came, but then went. Lovely, strong sense of ease, comfort, and gratitude. Such a warm, healing light, says Daphne, fully encompassing me. Deborah was the one that had the pain that came on and then left. Wow. iPhone, Charlene, growing warm, focus on right eye, split retina that can't be treated till blood pressure drops. Any wise words from the soul? So, Charlene, let's get to that towards the end of the call. Remind me, Adam, if we can remember Charlene's question. A lot of yawns, a lot of shifts. Wow. Just a lot of things happening. Keep writing to us. Just amazing. I mean, this is so important, right, Adam, that we begin to, I guess, like know what is ours, what is from God's source spirit, and what just isn't. Like, what is heavy energy? What is dark energy? What is sort of this interference pattern that we're living with that isn't our highest and best essence, right? It's important to know that, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, yeah. So this kind of creates sort of like a way to filter, right? It's like the reconnecting with God's energy. It's like, oh, I remember what this feels like, but it's like
Mm.
sometimes we can forget, right? Because we get so lost in our own stuff, our own stress, our own pain, suffering, like or
The other thing
suffering.
is we think, and there are shows like mine, and maybe this can tend to make people think, well, I got to clear that, right? Oh, I'm going to take care of that. That's my block. Well, I'm like, well, maybe instead of just trying to work that, connect to the higher energy, right? And let that come in, right? And just eviscerate that feeling of disconnection. So there's a lot of different ways to do this, right? So just know that. Heather wrote in, thank you, Adam and Darius. I felt pressure around my body and a cool energy flowing. Also felt warm tingling in my hands and heart. Felt a shift in my ears. I feel peaceful. I feel relaxed. I love it. I love it. Well, I love this. And Adam, you are a root cause distance healer. We've been talking about that, and you work with clients. And I know that you take a lot of time with folks. What type of people do you find are drawn to work with you one-on-one? Is there a certain type of situation, a type of person, a type of seeker that kind of tends to find you?
Yeah, I definitely get a lot of people with, yeah, like chronic health issues that have seen a lot of different people, gone the Western medicine route, seen
Yeah.
chiropractors, naturopaths, a lot of different healers and such, and just feel like they just like there's something more, there's something that's not being addressed. I do definitely work with a lot of women as well, because women are just tend, and it seems like most of the crowd here is women, just because
Yeah.
more in tune with themselves, I find as well. Like men tend to avoid until Sometimes it's like until their symptoms are too strong or need like severe medical attention at that case. So it's like, just, and people that just want to like, essentially better themselves and kind of have this inkling that there's something more for them or have a spiritual connection. Like obviously people that are open to this type of thing as well.
I agree. And, I think a lot of folks come to you when they've done a lot of other things, but they also appreciate, and I see this with a lot of the clients and testimonials, they appreciate your ability to work at multiple levels, the energy side, the holistic side, maybe what's being shown from a nutrient side. It's much more than just like a one size fits all. It's definitely a holistic approach. And that means that you take longer with each client than maybe others would. And so I want to let everyone know, if you are maybe enjoying today, or you say, you know what, it'd be great to not just listen to Adam or do the session, but actually have Adam look at me with a little more time, or maybe just be able to see what's going on. We have a limited number of spots with Adam if this is something that interests you, and we've got a discount as well. Could it get any better? Yeah, we do. We actually have an early bird discount to work with Adam for 1 hour. And I hope I'm not reading that wrong. It's a 60-minute private session with Adam Fullmore in package B. And I'm going to drop the link real fast because we love to support the work of our healers, teachers, and masters. Adam, anything you want to share about that? That's an hour basically with you. And I know there's a lot more that's in this deeper program we're going to talk about, but that's going to be like the crux of the biscuit right there. That's going to be amazing. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what I do to begin with is sort of tend to do like a full body scan of the person, like what's going on, what's at the root cause of their health issues or whatever the issues are going on. So come up sort of with like a plan to begin with, like what's going on. And then from there, which is often the majority of the session, then diving into those specific issues to help resolve them, to process, to help heal those areas where the person is struggling.
Yeah, I'm going to drop the link, and then we're going to dive in here. We've got one-on-one with Adam Fullmore for 1 hour, and we've got an early bird discount for the first 30 people. Coincidentally, you're actually going to save $30. I want to go to this here because one of the things that Adam is able to do as a root cause soul healer is to go to the root. And you say, get to the root once and for all. If you've tried countless different types of treatments, ideas, philosophies, and you're stuck in pains, fatigue, emotional struggle, Adam is going to go directly to help identify those things, but then also either clear the blocks and give you a blend, right, of traditional Chinese medicine, shamanic practices, spiritual intuition. You scan the entire system. I'll let you just kind of describe this. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Adam30. And I've left the live stream running for the folks on social media because I think this is so important. So I want everyone to be able to get a hold of this. Adam, anything you want to say about this? This is package B on the page. We've got 30 discounted spots for the early bird folks. You can get this. It would normally be $399. It's just $197. But anything you want to say? And again, there are some medical things on this page too. So I'm just going to say, we're not doctors. We're not claiming we're going to cure, all sorts of things that start with C, but there's stories where the body gets back into alignment. And that's what we're doing from the spiritual side. We're looking at that, right, Adam?
Yep, that's exactly. So yeah, like they'll come up with like sometimes that is more of an emotional reason why a person's, for instance, like organ or gland is not working. So needing to help to like, release those emotions that are going on in that organ, or the soul is calling for some growth. So assisting with that, or maybe it's something more physical, like I discussed earlier, needing to cleanse or needing to nourish the body in a way to help it overcome the health problem or the symptoms, whatever you're experiencing.
Absolutely. And the cool thing about this is that's not all. We've got a lot more here, and it is the exclusive release of this work from Adam Fullmore, the root cause healer. And he's here at UWealth Revolution. He's guided by divine intuition. Y'all have seen this. And it's part of kind of this bigger energetic framework that we're a part of, Adam. I mean, I know you realize, and I do too, like we're connected to source, right? And so you're going to source to discover this. So it's very guided through our spiritual essence. And if you've been like trying to understand this, trying to move forward, but you can't, you want people to know there is a way. Tell me a little bit about kind of this divine connection that you plug into, and why you think it's been effective for people.
Yeah, it's, I guess why it's effective. Yeah, because when it's put into practice, there's like, it brings out essentially the truth of what I've found for myself and for people. Like, however, sometimes it's like, yeah, we have to step into the unknown to get these answers, and it can feel scary at times because, yeah, stepping into the unknown can be scary. But it's like, but then when we start putting these things into action, like it starts to create sometimes small shifts that turn into big shifts, or sometimes big shifts right away for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the cool thing about what you're doing, not only are people going to get a chance in package B to get one-on-one time with you for an hour, which I would just say at UWealth, generally that is a massive amount of time for people to get amazing support. So that's just huge. But the other thing you're going to do in package A, if people want to kind of learn some of this themselves, or they want to kind of begin to go the way of the healer, we're going to talk about that, because you've got a live call, and you also have a way to actually begin to open this door for yourself. And there have been people all over the world saying things like, I'm finally feeling normal for the first time in months. Ashleigh Haynes, no more discomfort physically, mentally, seeing vast improvements, no more ouchies, which is my way of trying to remove a word from the testimonial, but y'all know what that means. God led me to Adam Fullmore. And if you're ready to go to the root, no matter where you are, this is distance, right, Adam? So they could be doing this work with you anywhere in the world, as long as they have a connection to the internet, Zoom, I would assume, or a phone.
That's correct. Yeah. So a lot of it is just different simple exercises that are going to help to balance your energy, strengthen it up, maybe potentially stimulate some detoxing for yourself to, so your energy essentially can align easier with God, or you can become essentially stronger yourself.
Yes.
The body heals much quicker.
Yeah, and there's so many things like kind of weakening us. I think the thing that I get today, and what's so funny about this, is I was driving, to the gym this morning, and some different videos kind of came in, and I was listening to that, and I was hearing about, I would describe it almost as like interference, right? Interference from darker energy in our lives, and how this interference we think is natural, but it's actually not. And so when we get rid of it, when we reconnect, that's when the magic happens. So I asked the question today for everybody, is like, where is it that you're accepting an interference that's causing a breakdown, and you think that's just normal, or that's just the way it is? Well, what if it's not that way? And what if that unification back to that, grand organizing designer, God, source, energy, creation energy is what is going to bring you that shift? Well, we're going to talk about it, because this is what we're doing here. And I want to go to package A. You're going to be doing a live group call for everybody November 11th. You're going to rapidly clear, balance, and activate for major energy transformation, the body systems. Tell me about this call. And then we're going to talk about a 12 video set that people are also going to get with package A, called The Way of the Healer. But tell me about this live call.
Yeah, so this live call will essentially be a bigger, more extended version of that little mini group healing did today. So it's really about, yeah, getting people to connect with that God energy, and really diving into, yeah, more specific imbalances or health issues, problems going on with people, to essentially get it out of the way so your body can feel better, you can feel better, so you feel connected. And it's something you can then utilize again in your life, because you will get a recording from this as well. So it's like So it's something you could literally do every day or a part of every day to remind yourself, because that's essentially where people tend to fail, is like we don't create always the best habits. So it's like
Right.
when we start doing things that help us to feel good physically, mentally, emotionally every day, it just, then it's like our life improves essentially. It's
Yeah. And we
that's
stay connected, we stay connected, as you know, to the higher pure energy. It's kind of like April, where she's like, I just feel different, right? It's like that connection is what we want to stay connected to every day. Um, Interesting. And your group sessions are pretty unique, I think, in what you do. This lady, Deidre from Canada, said, thanks to the group sessions, my life and relationship is vastly improving. I'm able to release old traumas and hurt lingering in my mind. I've moved to a much more loving and accepting relationship with myself. I feel stronger. Just knowing someone is sending me positive energy in the midst of what can be chaotic energy. I highly recommend Adam's group healing. So y'all are going to get to experience that. And that's one piece. But then we've got this 12 MP4 video set called The Way of the Healer. I mean, this is massive. I know we focused on, Adam, your one-on-one work, because I know our beautiful community loves one-on-one time, especially with someone of your caliber. But this could be its own show. Tell me about what you're doing in this 12 video set. This is a real work.
Yeah, essentially, so each class sort of builds on itself. So there's like the first one is sort of like, what is energy healing 101? So I break down like essentially what that is. And then many of those other classes in there are where I'm teaching you exercises. There's a few Qigong exercises in there. So these are helping to open up certain energy pathways for you or regulate them. Because in Chinese medicine, like if certain energy pathways are blocked or congested, stagnant, that illness starts to arise as a result. So it's like when those are essentially clean, it's like the difference between having a clean house and a dirty house, like how you feel within your mind, your emotions, and even physically, right? So it's like this is your body you're talking about here then. So it's like how much better you feel when you're keeping your energy clear. And so there's a bunch of those that build on that, strengthen you, and essentially help you to become a better healer yourself, like heal faster yourself. And then if you want to, you can even utilize this information to help others too. And it's a and you whether that's the road you decide to take yourself or feel drawn to it.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. You also dive into things like healing with light and love, shamanic golden light exercises, how to do distance energy healing. So, are you saying that people could actually learn to send distance energy to like their loved ones, their mom, their dad? I mean, this is possible, right? I guess.
Yeah. Like anyone can do it. Yeah. And so it's like within the exercises before that, they teach you how to build up your energy. So it's like it makes it that much easier
Wow.
to do for yourself. And that's why, that one, some of those like, come last, how to do distance energy healing. It's like, so it's best to go in the order of those classes.
You cover 7 reasons here as well why people don't heal. Can you unpack a couple of those? I know we're getting close to time, but everyone send in your questions for Adam. I want to welcome Anushka and a few more other people as well that are diving in and getting help from Adam, and they're going deeper into the program. But there are reasons why things never seem to release, let go, reconnect with the light, heal, whatever word you want to use. What are some of the most common ones that you've seen? Maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, one of the most common ones, and I've even mentioned it a few times, it's like when the heart is blocked, essentially, meaning like, so it's like emotionally blocked, mentally, spiritually blocked as a result. And then sometimes that can even create their kind of physical blockage can eventually happen. And obviously that's more like a heart attack, or that ends up happening to that person. So it's like that's the top ones, because to be healthy, to be a healer, like our heart needs to be open and flowing. Like it's like the center. We can't live without our heart. We can literally, like any other organ can literally be missing, but like if we don't have a heart, we're not.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm reminded where, I think it was Jesus that said, if thine eye is full of light, then thy body be full of light. But if thine eye is dark, body is dark. It's like, and when your heart is full of unforgiveness, then everything you see is like suffering, trauma, or anger, or you see sort of like what is in your heart. And then, this is pervasive, right? Um, what we eat goes through our body and leaves in 48, 72 hours. But what comes from our heart basically is with us. It is everything that becomes our reality. So yeah, very big stuff. I don't need to tell you. Well, I want to share for everybody here who wants to go deeper. We're going to be talking about what's here and how to go deeper. But Adam, you also, as I said, have got some bonuses we're going to be diving into and some other things. And also, we've got a little bit of time. So go ahead and send in your questions to Adam Fullmore. And what we've got here really excitingly is package A will get you the 60-minute live group call with Adam plus the Way of the Healer 12 MP4 videos. This is like your way to do this yourself, right? If you want to do this yourself or you want to accelerate your abilities, go with package A. It's just 127. But I would argue for just like $70 more, you're going to get, if you're one of the first 30, an hour with Adam Fullmore. And you could even lock it in for 2 payments of 114. And that is incredibly, incredibly valuable because Adam is going to be, you're going to be looking into their energy field. You're going to be adjusting and helping them with this root cause distance energy healing. And you also do something, I know Carrie does this as well. You do a personalized email summary, which I thought was mind blowing when I first found out that Carrie did this. Tell me about that. How do you do it? Is it the same? Is it different? And for those that never heard of this, what do you do?
Yeah, so it'll be based on the person's like recommendations, what they need. So if certain things come up during the one-on-one session, like, oh, they need to do a certain detox, then that's the kind of stuff that I'll put in this email summary. So you have that in writing. So you're not just like, floundering or because sometimes like obviously expecting to have to write all that down during the session is challenging. So it's like making sure you have that information.
That's amazing. Yeah. And then you have a roadmap going forward and you have things that are going to be needed for you to do so you can have those results. So I want to get some questions. We got a lot of questions coming in. Digestive questions. We've got questions about lots of things. We had a question come in during the process. So I want to try to find that. Let me see if I can find that here. 1 second. I know this was the one we said, or I said, remind me. Let me see where it is here.
Charlene, is it?
Charlene, thanks, man. You got my back. I appreciate it. Yeah, Charlene. Let me see. If you could find it, that'd be great. I know it's right when people were
growing warm. Oh, no, there was this growing warm focus on right eye, split retina that can't be treated till blood pressure drops.
Yes, that's the one.
Any wise words from my soul, that one, right?
That was the one. Yeah, anything coming forward for her.
You go, Charlene.
Hi.
Hey, there's Charlene. Good job. I love the initiative. Come on in. Come on into the show. What's going on, Charlene?
I'm a very visual person. I work in show business, dressing actors, and I've been doing it for a long time, so I have a lot of responsibility. And 2 years ago, the retina of my right eye split. And I went to see a retina specialist, and he said that I could stroke out if he gave me the shot, which it turns out doesn't actually heal the condition. It just improves it for like a month, and then you have to get it again because my blood pressure is too high. So I'm just wondering, like, what my soul wants me to learn from this and how I can be helped. I've worked with a lot of different energy healers, and so far it just hasn't really improved.
Yeah, when I tuned into your eye, there's definitely this sense of so-called spiritually being misunderstood was sort of the first thing that sort of came up around that. So I'll first drop that with you to see if that means anything, but I'm going to also kind of look into see what that sort of go sort of deeper into that and what that wants to come through around that. Yeah, it's almost like there's some sort of like so-called spiritual battle that you're going under. You're just being drawn to another area of your body in regards to this spiritual battle. So sometimes it's like there's like a wild goose chase going on in people's bodies with stuff, but it's sort of like coming down into your upper abdomen now. So I'm just or just following this trail. It's almost like there's something going on here, like a lot of energy here that you need to release and you don't know how to. I'm just seeing what this energy is. Almost like feeling like trapped. Sometimes some people's bodies show in like in images, other people show in like words. Yours is definitely more images or visual and images that it's showing me. Some sort of fear that you need to release. So one thing that I can find that can sometimes be helpful because it's like sometimes there's just like a so-called a little thing I would say a person needs to do to sort of help to sort of open up the process. So for you, Charlene, what I would just recommend you doing now is just focusing on the center of your chest and just saying to yourself, like, thank you, God, for helping to me to release any fear that's not serving me at this time. Because there's some sort of fear that's getting in the way, that's hanging out sort of in your upper abdomen that's somehow linked to this. So that needs to get out of the way first. So if you're open to doing that, or if you haven't already, do that and just see what that then brings up to your awareness. Sort of like that's sort of like step one, it looks like.
Okay. So I should tell myself or ask God to help me release the fear that's getting in the way of
Just any fear that's not serving you, because it's like we don't even want to put any sort of anything else on it. So it's just because God will know exactly what that fear is, or if there's other fears. So just to help you release any fear that's not serving you.
Okay.
So if you want to, are you able to do that right now? It's just like
Okay.
and then you can just share what you experience from that.
Okay. Dear God, please help me release this fear. Yes, I'm very afraid. It's a frightening time to be alive. I came here because I wanted to share my light. And now I feel so afraid. I feel like all the work we've done in the last 30 years, 40 years is being taken away. And I don't want to see darkness take over everything and everybody and have everybody lose all of their joy. And I've been a singer my whole life, and these days I'm not really singing.
Yeah, so that's where that fear is like restricting you, right? It's tricking you to think that all these bad things are going to happen, and it's like none of us know how life's going to turn out, right? So it's like your ego, you're like or the dark, as Darius you've been calling it, sort of like tricking you, Charlene, to think this, and it just creates more darkness, so to speak, or darkness in your life, more fear, more vision problem. Like, so it's like that's why it was step one, to get that out of the way so your body can start healing here. You can, yeah, and maybe singing is exactly what you need to heal yourself. Like,
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
I also wanted to say to Dr. Liz that she mentioned that she used to do a lot of music. And I know when you have difficulties on the right side, then the energy isn't getting out. And maybe just, making a little music every day would also be helpful for her. So
That's
I
brilliant.
think we have some mirroring going on there. Thank you very much, Darius. And yes, I think I'll be buying this package. Thank you for helping me.
Absolutely. And get out and sing. Sing your song. I totally agree. Thank you so much, Charlene. God bless you. Yeah, sing, sing. The truth is, we don't know, right? The higher ways that spirit is working through everything. And so, when you said ego and then you said dark, it's interesting. You go back to the Egyptian word for ego was Set, SET, and that later became Satan, right? And so ego is that part of us. It has a purpose, but it can be kind of hijacked, right? And then it's not really unified. So we just have to know all this and be aware. And I think we do. We realize it. So I want to welcome a few more people: Pam, Anushka, Sherry, Catherine, Kylie, and others that are going deeper with Adam. And I know these early birds are going to go quick. I know a lot of people want some time. Charlene's probably going to grab it. So grab it while you can. You're going to get an hour with Adam Fullmore. And Adam, thank you for going a little longer, just opening your amazing heart today, brother. Any final thoughts or a message of love for people here today, or message of encouragement, or anything that maybe just the last thing, you want them to think about or hear as we kind of send them off in love today?
Yeah, I guess just don't underestimate your connection with God. I know like for that word might feel off for people if that's like, if you come from a religious background, you don't have a very good feeling about that. But if you want to call it something else, but like, yeah, don't underestimate that connection, like how important it is to daily hand over your fears, your pain, your suffering, rather than letting it build up within yourself, because then it just starts to snowball, right? Negative stuff snowball, but also the other way around too is like positive things start to snowball too. So the more love that we produce, or how we want to be, our ideal states, that snowballs too, right? And we look at people like that we admire and wonder why they're doing so good. It's because all that inner work, usually they're working so hard daily behind the scenes and not even realizing all the work they're putting in to be that shining light.
That's right. I think one of the biggest tricks is like, oh, we have to do it all ourselves. We can't hand it over. We can't, we can't ask for help. We can't call on, these higher realms. And then we just keep sort of playing that same energy record over and over again. And the dark loves that. It's like, oh, I got this one now. I've got them trapped in that little circle or spiral. They're never going to get out of that. And I'm just going to keep pressing on them and pressing on them and confusing them. And yeah, I mean, there's influences, there's realms, there's principalities, right? We battle against not principalities of flesh. We battle against principalities of spirit. And that's where the stronghold is. You break that, you set yourself free. So I appreciate you, Adam, bringing that, kind of into our awareness and letting us reset a little bit. We all need to do that. So check it all out. It's at uwealthrevolution.com/Adam30. It's simple. It's easy. Grab package B. I think most people have been, because they want to get time with Adam. He's a root cause energy healer, guided by divine connection. And we've been hearing about Adam for probably the last year and a half, ever since Carrie Fullmore came on. She's like, oh, gotta, meet my husband, Adam. He's amazing. And we've got him here. So while he's here, check it out. And we love and appreciate all of you. You can do anything, and you're amazing beings of light. So Adam, thanks again, my friend. This was great.
Yeah, thanks, Darius, for having me. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
I love it. And please don't give up. Know you're worthy, you matter, and all things are possible through you and, your higher connection to God, to spirit, and to creator. So don't do it alone. We love you. We'll see you soon. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Adam. And I'm going to leave everybody off with Diane and Cheryl. If there's any questions you have, grab these before they're gone. It's been a busy season. I know things are really picking up and a lot of folks coming in. So we'll see you soon. Thanks again, Adam. This was awesome, man.
Yay, bye.
Bye, everyone. Much love. We love you. See you soon.